I once stayed in this very old apartment in the city. It had affordable rent and average in size, very suitable for one person. The place was also close to my office, so it was too good to pass up. After living in it for 2 weeks, everything has been good so far. Despite being a steal deal, I was surprised only a few people lived there with me. Perhaps because the building was very old. Every unit was rustic and in desperate need of furnishing. The hallway ceiling even had a few holes that exposed the ventilation shafts. Damn place was an eyesore, but it was livable. Another catch is that the rooms didn't have their own bathroom. Instead, there's a common bath area that everyone shared. You'd think this would be a hassle, but fortunately the small number of tenants meant I never had to rush whenever I needed to use it. In fact, when I head there every morning, I either get to it first or the person before me just happened to finish, judging by the wet bathroom tiles and huge clumps of hair that almost clogged the floor drain. Somebody really needs to get their scalp checked. There's also a trail of water on the hallway as if whoever showered didn't even bother drying up. Bunch of slobs, I thought at first, but they're probably just in a hurry. One day I decided to take a bath earlier than usual. It was still dark outside and not a single noise from the normally busy street. My room was on the far west of the building. On the east end was the bath area. It was quite eerie as I traversed the silent and empty hallway. As I was getting closer to the bathroom, I heard a creaking noise behind me. Startled, I quickly turned around to see a door from one of the rooms was ajar. Behind it stood someone. A thinly built, middle-aged man who was staring at me. He wasn't scary or anything, but the look he was giving me was unnerving. His eyes were wide and unblinking as he seemed frozen in place. Looking behind me, I found nobody else was there, so his eyes were definitely on me. After a few seconds, I decided to move on, feeling how stupid it was to have a stare down with a stranger. It must have been just a junkie or some sleep-deprived call center agent. The bathroom was just a few steps away. Upon approaching it, I was surprised to hear the sound of a faucet running. There was also light slipping out the bottom of its closed door. And I thought I was early, I told myself. Risking a glance back to the weird man, I was surprised to see he was still there and still staring at me. Did he even move? My uneasiness with him turned into annoyance. I decided to confront him, so I stepped forward. Just a little intimidation to scare him off. Just when I was about to ask what the problem was, I heard the bathroom door open. That's when I noticed. He wasn't staring at me. He was looking behind me. Slowly, I turned my head back to the now open bathroom door. A big green hand emerged, long and webbed fingers latching onto the doorframe. Then a black body of something followed behind it. It was drizzling water all over the floor beneath. It took me a moment to realize it was hair. A massive stack of wet, wiry, gooey hair. The thing stayed there as it bobbed up and down, like a person heaving for breath. My jaw hung open. Shivers ran up and down my spine with each second of looking at it. I stepped 1 foot back, but only on instinct. I was terrified. I wanted to get out of there. Just then, I felt someone grab my shoulder and drag me backward. We scrambled away, My gaze never left that thing. Once inside, I looked to whom my savior was. Slowly, he shut the door, taking caution not to make a sound. The man from before. We sat there motionless on the floor for a bit. The man pressed an ear to his door to listen. I did the same. Soon we were hearing wet thumping sounds. At first, it was a bit distant but got louder by each step. I held my breath as we listened. It stopped. A long silence came. While wondering where the sound went, my eyes dropped to the floor. I almost screamed. A flood of water was seeping through the bottom of the door and into the room. I felt the cold in my toes as my slippers got soaked. I would have jumped if it wasn't for the man. He clutched my shoulder, and the look on his face begged me to stay quiet. We stayed pinned to the door. I swear I can hear breathing from the other side. We were locked there until the wet steps came back. The water at our feet stopped flowing. The sound of the steps were getting farther and farther. When we could no longer hear it, I took a sigh of relief. To my horror, the man opened the door. Hurriedly, I grabbed his arm, but he assured me that it was okay now, even telling me to come take a look outside. But the man was relaxed now, the scared look in his face gone. I followed him outside, and as we stood there, I came to a dreadful realization. The whole stretch of the hallway now had a trail of water, just like every day. I asked the man what the hell was going on, and he explained. That thing, it lived there too. It scared away almost everyone in the building, save for a few who were desperate enough for affordable living. Still, it was unbelievable that this guy managed to stay there for almost a year. He says you just have to watch out for it. It only comes early in the morning, right before the sun comes up. That's why nobody uses the showers that early. It goes there every day, he tells me. It likes the water. I asked him if it ever hurt anybody. He said he didn't know, and neither did any of the other tenants. All they know is everything will be fine as long as they keep their distance and be quiet while it prowled the hall. I left immediately after that encounter. After noticing where the trail of water that the thing left led to. It was an opening in the ceiling, right beside my room door. Greetings. My name is Ram Muerto, your narrator and animator for this story. I just wanted to take this time to say, I hope you're all safe and doing alright. Wherever you are, just stay strong and have faith that the human race will overcome the odds. I'd also like to take this time to say thank you to all who's watching these videos, no matter how many or how few. We appreciate you dropping by, and we hope you stick around as we have more in store for you. That said, you might notice the upload gap between this vid and the last. Well, it's definitely something that we'll have to adjust to as we go on this journey. I can promise you though that the next video won't take that long. We don't have a definite schedule yet for uploads, so it's a great idea to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you'll be notified by our next chilling tale. If you haven't watched our past episodes yet, the links are right here in the end card and on the description below. Finally, I'd like to give a shout out to these two YouTube channels, Wolves Campfire and Just Plain Creepy, who also make awesome horror content. You should check them out. I'll put a link in the description below. And that's it for this one. Join us next time. And again, stay safe and be kind to each other. In this day and age, we are each other's guardian angels. Good night.